Hello, everyone. This is Vidya Sanjeevi from Ohio Computer Academy. In today's session, we will discuss how to become an AWS professional. We will be talking about what is cloud technology and AWS, how to start or switch careers towards AWS, what career opportunities exist in the cloud area. To help us understand these topics more in detail, we have with us today Sachin Kumar, who is an accomplished AWS cloud specialist with years of experience in implementing cloud solutions. He has conducted multiple trainings for Ohio Computer Academy. Hi, Sachin. Good to have you with us today. Could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hey, hi Sanjeevi. Good morning and good morning everyone. This is Sachin. I work as a AWS architect and I have a immense experience and understanding of cloud field. Uh, but my main expertise into AWS and I have a good understanding of Azure and GCP as well. And throughout my career, I was in the data side, data modeling, cloud, and big data. And from last many years, I'm conducting the training for Ohio Academy and others as well on the AWS and other cloud technologies.
That's lovely. So, we would like to know what exactly is cloud technology and AWS. Although AWS Cloud is available for more than a decade, many of us are still mostly unaware of its power and performance, right? So it would be really good if you can brief us about this.
Yeah, sure, Sanjeevi. And this is a very interesting question, and I completely agree with you, even though this has been kicked off almost a decade and still a few newcomers or even the experienced technical folks are not aware what this cloud is and how the AWS fit into the cloud industry. So just to let you know, you and everyone, AWS is the leading company or leading guy into the cloud world. So we have three major. One is AWS and Azure, and the third one is GCP. And you guys might have heard about Alibaba as well, which is China based. So that also have little bit contribution in cloud world, and IBM also has a little bit contribution. So, but AWS is a bigger player in the cloud front, and it's one of the major player in the cloud side. Coming to your second question, Sanjeevi. So first question was what is AWS and where it fits into the cloud world. So this
Yeah,
is where AWS is. And your second question was what is cloud technology, right?
yeah,
So this is a very massive question, and I will definitely try to explain in a very layman term and try to be brief. But it's a little detailed answer. It has to be. So to start with, whoever the technical guys are, they all know to run any program or to run any software or run any project, you need a couple of things. One is your software, which might be a Java or which might be .NET, which might be Python or any ETL tool. So one is you need a tool or software. Okay. The second thing, you need a server. So uh, whether it's a Linux server or whether it's Ubuntu server or it's a high performing server, that is the second thing you needed that. The third thing, you needed a storage, whether it's a file storage or a database storage or and so on, any kind of storage. And fourth thing is networking, which we know networking is also very important to connect throughout all this um, websites and all these products and all these softwares, and people are working from different locations in different places. So networking is also important. And fifth thing is your security. So these are, I can categorize these five or six. There are many other miscellaneous which I'm not going into, but these are the five major areas. One is your software tool, second is your server, third is your storage, file or database, and fourth is your networking, and fifth is your security. So these are all happening. So this, even though without cloud, all the projects were running and things were going how it has to, and people were able to connect through the internet, and their website were online, or banking is going online, and so on. So then why this cloud came into the picture? That is the main important question. I think you are asking the same
Right.
question.
Right.
So why,
Yes.
when everything was running smooth, we were having each component. So let's say we have a tool or software. Java is a player, .NET is another player or vendor, and ETL is another one, and Python and PySpark another one. So there are 5 or 4 different vendors for your software.
Mhm.
Let's say when we are talking about server, so we have Linux server, we have IBM server, we have Intel server,
Yes.
and so on, right? Then
Right.
database and storage and so on for networking and security. So these are different players already existing into the market. Then why we are coming to the cloud? So
Right. That's right.
the cloud is kind of a hub, you can say, where you don't
Mhm.
have to go and contact these 5 major component to build your project and run any kind of working tool or working product to the market. You don't have to run behind these 5 different vendors or maybe many others. Now AWS or Azure or GCP is coming with the idea where they are telling, okay, you come to me, I will provide you the software which you wanted to use. I will provide you the servers which you wanted to use. I can provide you all kind of storage and database which you want to use, and networking and security and so on. So you don't have to deal with 5 or 10 different vendors to kick off your project and buy the very costly servers, very costly storage, and very costly databases. So this is a major breakthrough, when we were, I wanted to introduce one more term which is called as on-prem. So the
Mhm.
which I was talking about, the 5 different component, those were on-prem onto the any, let's say if I take a Bank of America example, or if I take a India example, which is SBI, or any other insurance or any other organization which is running online, or which is having the online presence as well, or they have like good amount of business in online. So they have to purchase all this software, servers, storage, networking, and so on, and all this has to be housed or has to be placed in their premises. Okay, so that's why we call it is on-premise. On-premise,
On-prem.
on-premises. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
So all this were happening. This is not like that. After the cloud came into the picture, the world has moved on to the internet and online. No, that was not the case. It was already happening. The These things were already happening, and these were servers, and all these things has to be installed on-prem. Okay, which is your
Right.
organization's uh, like infrastructure, and they have to build, they have to pay, and they have to deal with different vendors. Then what's the problem? Why we are moving from on-prem to cloud? And as I just mentioned briefly, cloud is a hub where they are telling you don't have to deal with 5 or 10 different vendors and 10 different companies to get all this required component to start your project or component to start your product building. They can provide in one spot, which is AWS or Azure, right? So this is one advantage where you don't have to deal with 5 or 10 different vendors, and all can be housed at a AWS platform, which is a cloud platform. That is one advantage. You don't have to deal with 10 different people and 10 different agreement and 10 different times of execution and so on. But apart from that, there was a one very major issue with the on-prem, and most of the people doesn't know if they are like fresher, and if they're just too much technical, and they are not into project management, and they are not into the overall understanding of the how the project runs and the product get built. So the
Okay.
other component is, if you're writing a contract with Oracle or any database company or any other software, let's say you are buying a tool from IBM, or you're buying
Mhm.
some software from some other company, they will take at least 3 to 6 months time. Okay, just to have the contract ready, how much they will charge you, they will send their expert to get those servers and softwares and everything installed on your on-prem, so the
Okay.
minimum time is, yeah, so minimum time is 3 to 6 months, and your project timeline itself is a 6 months to build a project and send it to the market. So you
I
know
know
what
that's
I'm
right.
trying to tell.
Mm.
On-prem was, it will just take 6 months to execute the agreement and procure all those component and provision then and make it running. Whereas my project timeline itself is 6 months to get the product into the market. So we are
Right.
already late into the market, and we are
Right.
just spending the time and money on unnecessary things which is not even productive, you know because
That's
this
true.
execute the agreement, we need a managers and we need the folks to involve with, and then lots of paperwork happen and so on and so forth, and they will charge you on a, like, whether you use a 5 terabyte or whether you use a 10 terabyte, that doesn't bother. If you are buying a 10 terabyte servers or 10 terabyte of storage, you have to charge every day till every year, and even the use 10 terabyte or use 1 terabyte doesn't matter, you know
Hmm.
so first thing was, we have to deal with lots of vendor. Second thing was, lots of red tape in between to get the component procured on your organization infrastructure or organization on premises. Okay, because of
Hmm.
that, lots of hassle, lots of delays, and lots of miscommunication, and lots of delays in the product and the development happened. Okay, that is the second thing. Third thing is, which I just shortly mentioned, let's say you are a startup company and you do not have money of, let's say, 100k, 100k dollar, or $1 million or something like that, a huge amount of money to buy
Okay.
a server. So let's say you have a very startup company and you wanted to use a very high performance server for your machine learning models,
Okay.
and that model or that server will be very costly if you try to buy by yourself. Okay, and let's say if you wanted to run a big data on that machine learning and the data is very huge for your
Okay.
predictive model or what kind of model, okay,
Hmm.
then you have to buy a huge storage, then you have to buy a very high performing machine learning servers. Okay, if you go outside and buy by yourself, that will be a costly stuff. Okay, what is happening with this one? In the AWS and cloud, you don't have to buy as to use for years. What you can do, you can enroll yourself for AWS, and you can set up account with so on and everything with payment details. If you
Hmm.
wanted to use for 1 day and 2 days, you can use that,
Okay.
and then terminate that. So they will
Okay.
charge you how much they you have used. So
Okay.
these are three major. One is your uh, like lots of vendor you don't have to deal with.
Right.
Second is the product to the market will be very speed with the high speed. Okay, and the
Yeah.
third thing is whatever you use, you pay. So these are three major pillars of cloud. Why it's getting popularity, you are trying to remove and you're trying to get rid of all those unproductive things and unnecessary expenses which you bear, or your, even though if you're a bigger organization, if you have to use for just 6 months for your project need, you use the servers and tools and so on for 6 months, and you don't have to go into a 5 year or 2 years of contract. So it saves
Okay.
lots of money, it saves lots of your effort, it saves lots of hassle of red taping. And the advantage is, if you are focusing more on product building, you are bringing the product to the market as soon as possible, and then you are trying to see the next step of the development rather than sticking with the same development. So I
Right.
have explained in a little detail. I tried to be in brief, but I don't think so I could explain rather like this is a brief I could explain. So I took maybe
Um,
5 or 7 minutes for why cloud technology.
no, no, that was a wonderful explanation. I'm sure our viewers would have got a clear picture of what cloud technology is. Thank you so much for that. And my next question is this. We often hear that a knowledge of cloud computing is essential for IT professionals. How true is this in the current work scenario?
So that is really true. If you could have asked me 4 or 5 years back when the cloud was pacing it up, that might not be that true, but in today's scenario and today current scenario or current market, it's 100% true. You should know one of the cloud technology, whether it's AWS or Azure or GCP. As I have mentioned in my earlier, AWS the leading player into this. So let's say 60% or 70%, 60% I would say, resumes and everything, whether you are Java developer, ETL developer, web developer, doesn't matter. You have to have the AWS knowledge for sure for 60% or 50% of job. Maybe 20-25% they ask for Azure, maybe 5-10% GCP, and very rare. I could and surely I can say very rare, 5 or 10% places they do not bother about the AWS, which might be still running on the old technology. But in
Okay.
60% in the job, they really need the AWS.
Okay. Lovely. And also, what career opportunities, what big opportunities await AWS professionals? And can someone new to the IT field get themselves acquainted with AWS?
Yeah, so that is really an important question because many people think, okay, I wanted to move to AWS cloud, but they don't know where to go, what to do. So
Yeah.
in that field, Ohio Academy is doing a great work where they conduct lots of training, lots of guidance, and this additional video is also is one of the another help to the people and help to the students or the IT professional there they can understand what to do. So they can go to Ohio Academy websites and they can see what courses they provide, and I'm one of the trainer in that. But coming to your question, what career opportunity they have? So I would
Yeah.
say they have tremendous career opportunity. The reason is in last 3 years itself, the AWS has been becoming so popular and so prevalent into the market. Just you take any company, they have the presence now. In last 3-4 years they have become an integral part of most of the bigger organization.
Hmm.
When bigger organization is moving from on-prem to AWS, they need AWS professional which they know, like who are experts in AWS. Then what is the
Right.
problem? The companies are moving into AWS, and like lots of people wanted to get into the AWS. The problem is we don't have the AWS experts here or AWS people, AWS the people who knows the AWS, right?
Okay.
So
Right.
this gap is there. The people they wanted to get into AWS work, and the company is also looking for AWS professional, but they are not finding it. So the best thing is you should start any kind of training, fundamental training, and then we provide all hands-on training. And just to let you know, for 12 month you can go yourself in AWS website, you can enroll yourself, you can try to browse yourself, and there are lots of training material the Ohio Academy has, and there are lots of training they provide. So coming to your question again, the fresher, the person who never worked on AWS, or the IT professional who never worked on AWS, or any kind of no voice or any kind of
Hmm.
beginners to the AWS, even though they have lots of experience into other on-prem tools and software,
Yeah.
they can definitely switch to AWS within 2 to 3 months of training and 3 months of exhaustive training and practice. This is not something very difficult. This is
Hmm.
very interesting, and this is very I would say the people who is working on AWS side or AWS front, they really enjoy working here and learning experience and knowledge what they gain when they work on AWS. So this is a tremendous place to work and to start.
Hmm. That's really nice. And what are the prerequisites of learning something like AWS?
I would say there's no such prerequisite. Okay. Let's
Okay.
say if it is a professional guy who already have like couple of years of experience, 5 years or 10 years, they already know the on premises work, whether it's a ETL developer or whether it's a database developer or database admin or
Mm.
security or networking or web developer, website developer or API developer, they're already working on some or other tool. The main important thing when we come to AWS, all this new whatever the old tool were, or the whatever the new tools are coming, old tools were hosted into AWS, and lots of new tools and new technology is coming onboarded onto the AWS. So for
Okay.
professional, we don't need any prerequisite. Okay, for the very
Okay.
beginner or very fresher who's coming out of the college, okay,
Hmm.
or who is just passed out there, who has completed their graduation, who has completed their masters, and they do not have any working experience, for them also it's we don't need prerequisite, because they might be already knowing little bit of Python, little bit of database knowledge, little bit of networking, right?
That's
So I
right.
don't think so it requires any prerequisite. The only thing is we need to have very clear vision. Okay, I want to become a AWS professional and I
Okay.
want to gain this expertise in next 2 3 months. So we need that kind of mindset to get into in AWS to AWS journey and becoming a AWS expert.
Okay. Right. And are there any different paths to learn AWS, or is it just that you take a single course and you learn everything at one shot?
No. So AWS is kind of an ocean. So I would
Okay.
not say, I would not misguide anyone. I would say AWS is not tough. And that doesn't mean that AWS is very easy. It's
Okay.
not tough. The reason is it requires a lots of your technical idea, and you should have a open-minded to learn anything anytime. Okay, because lots of services that keep adding every alternate day.
Definitely.
Um, but we have our Ohio Academy, and if you check in their website, AWS website also, they have almost 10 or 12 different certification. Ohio Academy also provide fundamentals, then AWS professionals, then AWS Architect Associate, then AWS DevOps. So I would say at least 6 to 7 or 8 different courses. Okay, but
Yes.
the newcomers doesn't require to learn all of them. So newcomers, they can enroll themselves for fundamentals, and maybe the next one is the intermediate one. That is sufficient enough to start working in AWS, or that is sufficient enough to crack the interview. But if somebody already knowing the AWS little bit and they are on the intermediate level, then the Ohio Academy provides a professional kind of training or architect level of training that might be expert or architect professional level. So it doesn't have any endpoint where you would say I know each and every bit of AWS, but in two three
Okay.
months you should be enough. You should have enough knowledge to start working in AWS with maybe fundamental and next intermediate training.
Okay. Nice. And Sachin, we would like to learn about your experience. How did you venture into this field?
So I'm already into data side. Beginning of my career, I was in data side, and since you see the shift of the industry, they were into on-prem and all those IBM tools and the traditional Oracle databases and so on. I was worked a couple of years there. Then I started moving into big data when big data was coming into popularity, and then big data started dying and cloud coming into into the market. So I trained myself. I did lots of training and lots of reading and all their I learned everything from the AWS original website and their short trainings and their documentation, and did everything hands on. And then I started guiding my team and the project how to deal with. I would say um, me and my like me many other people who have started this journey, there was no proper documentation or there's nothing where we can learn. So it's kind of little painful, but today we are expert. The reason is we did everything by ourselves from the beginning.
Okay. That's nice. That's really nice. And what would you like to suggest? What role can we play as a training institute in equipping candidates in the cloud? Do we need to add some more courses?
Sorry, I missed your question. What is the question?
I mean, what role can we play, our academy? Would you
Okay.
suggest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
should we add some more courses?
yeah, so I would say Ohio Academy is doing great. They have lots of good training already into their bucket, which almost cover all kind of AWS courses. Um, uh, yeah, for AWS, I don't see anything else we should add. Probably I just finished the AWS dev. I think we can add the AWS DevOps also. That is not a very major field of AWS,
Okay.
but we
Okay.
can add the AWS DevOps as well.
Right. I'll make a note of it. So I think you've covered whatever possible in this such a short time. So thank you so much for your time today, Sachin. I'm sure your inputs will benefit our viewers greatly. And so to our viewers, if you have any questions for Sachin, please email us at hello@ohiocomputeracademy.com and we will get a response for you. Thank you for joining us, Sachin.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And viewers, if you liked today's session, please hit on like and subscribe. In the coming sessions, we will discuss more technologies. If you would like us to discuss a particular technology or an IT area, please do let us know in the comment section and we will cover it in our upcoming sessions. Till then, keep learning. Goodbye.